Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Orlando, aka Supervision, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Dualsense Edge controller. If you guys like what you see, feel free to subscribe, like, and comment down below with your questions. So let's just get right into it. As you see right here, we have the Dualsense Edge controller, which I'm lucky enough to have because my fiance pre-ordered it for me in October, and I just got it on Thursday. So at a glance, let's get it out of the box first so you guys can see what you're getting here. This is the back side of it. Gives you a little preview of some of the features it has. This is our box that she comes in. And they wrap it ever so nicely for us because, you know, that's how generous PlayStation is, or Sony. And it comes with a very nice hard case, which is plaqued with their logo. Surprise, surprise. And this case you see is not only just a case, it is a functional storage compartment, which you can run, a charger right through it while it's in there. At a glance, you'll notice that it is a very premium look all the way across the board. Sony's put a lot of time and effort into this controller. Even you'll notice some of the slight differences from this and your standard Dualsense controller. Only really easy to see up close. But on the Edge controller, you'll notice that there is a lot of grip back here for the fingers and grips and different texture on the R2 and L2. And as you can see real closely, they embedded a bunch of symbols in the touchpad, which has got a nice black cover on it. And also, what we have here is some of the customization options that you get with it. You have multiple stick caps. These are the high domes caps for the controller's analog sticks. And these are the low dome caps. They are extremely grippy, unlike that of the PS3 controller dome caps. So that's a nice little change. And you got here my personal favorites. These are the half coin rear triggers for the Dualsense controller. You can call them buttons or whichever. They ever so easily snap right in to the back. Okay, so these are the caps on the back. The ones that I prefer, only because of the way I hold the controller typically. Most people use their index fingers for R2, L2, and L1, R1. Me, I hold a control like this and I use my middle finger. I do what some people call claw. And I use my index finger to reach for triangle, circle, and X while I'm utilizing my middle finger for R2. So for me, it's this rear right becomes kind of useless. But this one on the rear over here, I'm able to utilize. Anyway, let me continue on with the other ones so you guys can see what else it has to offer. If those are not your suitable option, we have these. Some people might prefer these more. I know that other controllers offer them. And they're a little easier to get in as well. What is going on here? There we go. And I mean, the only problem with these, like I said, for some people, reaching them, I prefer the other ones. It's all preference with this controller. And if you guys are curious how it looked on the inside of the box and how it holds everything, this is how it is. And it comes with a nice cord for charging purposes. And this right here is the last of the little perks that it comes with. This, what it does is it locks into the controller so that you can lock a cord down to it so it can play wired, meaning you won't have to worry about wireless or recharging it. It'll just stay charged the entire time you play. One last thing I wanted to go over with the exterior of it. Something ever so easy about this controller is supposed to be replacing the joysticks when they are giving issues with drift or, I mean, you don't necessarily have to remove the joysticks to remove the thumb caps because they remove as easily as pulling them away like so and then pushing them back in, and you hear a nice click when they go in. So it's that simple. And getting this free is not really the easiest thing. There's a lever back here which releases the front. So you slide it down and it pushes that out, as you can see. And then these levers right here, they're pushed forward like so. And the joysticks just slide right out, just like that. And then you lock them back in with that. You place this cover back on, you force it in like so, and it clicks right back in. And she's all back together. And the other feature that I've actually liked so far with this controller is the trigger stoppers. As you can see on the back up here, we have 3 different levels. You have this one up here, which is your standard, which is your default, goes all the way down. We have the one in the middle, which I guess you could say would be medium distance travel, which this is what I prefer because it feels natural, but it also allows you to stop the triggers at like, say, halfway down. And for people who play shooters, I mean, like myself, they really would prefer this where there's barely any tap. But to me, it just didn't feel so natural. So that's why I stuck with the middle option here, which is a good choice. Good happy medium. So the next thing we're going to dive into, we're going to address the elephant in the room, the price tag, and the battery life. Those I would say would be the cons of this controller. Yes, you get all these flavorful options and you're able to customize it in every single way, and it's great. The controller performs well. You know, we're going to go into the customization menus next, but the cons, I would say the battery life is a little bit worse than the normal Dualsense controller right here. And the price tag of $199.99 with tax, I mean, it's a steep price, but if you ask me, I think it's worth it. If you're a competitive gamer and you're putting in hours and hours of gaming every single day, it's definitely worth it to have that edge over your enemy when you're playing shooters. But if you're just a casual gamer who's looking to play like adventure games like God of War or even, you know, like Dead Space, for example, which just released, then, you know, it might not be so necessary to have a controller like this. But if you're looking to play multiple shooters and you're competitive about it, then it's absolutely worth it. So last thing on the customizing section of the DualSense Edge controller are these FN buttons right here. So what these allow you to do is quickly swap between customizable profiles that are set for the DualSense Edge controller. In the next video, I will be showing you guys how to maneuver through that menu and how customizing this controller can benefit you. All right, guys, so we're going to be diving into the customization menus on the PS5 for the DualSense Edge controller right here. So the first thing you do is you hold down the FN buttons, either or, on the front, and you'll see that a menu pops up at the very bottom. So you can go from then holding it down to pressing on the menu button with a customized profile button, and it pulls you right in. And as you can see here, each button on the right is assigned to a specific profile. So it's as easy as holding down the FN button and pressing triangle, circle, X, square to get right through your profile. And the default one by standard is always going to be triangle. So if you now going over to here to create custom profile, you can create one, and we'll say test. We'll just write this in as test. And we can go to the customization for the buttons, and we can literally change any button to another button just to make it convenient for whatever game you play. Like for example, if you're playing a game that triangle has no function or real purpose, you can assign X to it again, just to have X down below and X up top if you wanted to spam it, for example. That's just one example, but there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different things that you can customize here. And, you know, some of it can be very useful, especially these back paddles. I mean, depending on how you play, it can really benefit you from game to game. So this is something that is very useful, and myself, I just recently started experimenting with the precise one. Each stick can be adjusted individually. As you can see here, it sees how much calibration goes along when you press in the button. See? And then you can change the sensitivity curve, which could benefit you with aiming more quickly or being more precise with your shots. If like you're sniping, for example, the one that I've been using with my right joystick is the precise one, and that's the only one that I've really had time to experiment with for a few hours. I didn't want to make this video without putting in a few hours with the controller so I get a real feel for it and let people know how I really felt about it, because I put my controllers through the paces, all of them. I've had so many controllers in the past, so this was important for me to make sure that I was able to give you guys an accurate review. Now here, you can make an adjustment to the curve if you wanted to, I guess, say, make a changes to the one you have, or if you have it, if you just wanted to make slight adjustments, you could on all the profiles. You can't do it on default though, which is weird because I thought in my brain that maybe you could have a custom profile, a custom sensitivity curve. But as you can see, look, you can change it with quick. You can lower the curve down. This one would quick would probably be ideal for most games, honestly, because you want quicker movement with the left stick. I myself haven't tried it yet, but as you can see here, each profile has a detail, has a detailed listing. The amount of registered input accelerates as you tilt the stick. Good for making quick movements. Gain the upper hand by quickly aiming in fast-paced shooting games. Now, that might help you with moving. With aiming, that might make you over-aim a target if the aim assistance isn't strong enough. So you got to pick and choose your poison here. See, with this one, there's a different definition of how they perceive precise, steady, digital, and dynamic. Now, dead zone adjustment. For all you guys out there who have stick drift on your left or right analog sticks, I actually recently had a Dualsense controller that had stick drift on both, and I actually fixed it. I replaced the pentameters, or whatever they're called. Had to take the controller apart. It's a pain in the ass. All the pieces are very small. It's difficult to handle with. But at the end of the day, it's no fun. And with the Dualsense Edge controller, you can just replace the analog sticks, which, I mean, I think Sony's charging $20 for a set, which isn't really that bad, considering those replacement parts that I purchased was like $10 for 8 of them. So you're lucky if you could fix 2 controllers with them. So, I mean, without the aggravation, though, because, I mean, these swap in and out very easily. So with the dead zone, if you have very minimal stick drift, meaning like there's actually a website where you can plug your controller in and it'll tell you how much stick drift your controller is picking up, because it reads from 0% to 100%, 100% being that you're fully pressing the stick all the way up. So the stick drift is typically like 1 to 2%. So you can bypass the stick drift by putting 1 to 2%, because the controller won't pick up till past that.
which is a very useful thing, but I mean, it might hurt you in some cases, depending on like what you're playing, but it's a useful feature. So let's go back here now to the trigger dead zone. These trigger dead zones are specifically for L2 and R2. I mean, I can't see many scenarios where you'd want to really adjust these, but they're adjustable. So meaning if you set this one to 20, it won't register until you press it 20%. That's why it's all grayed out like that. Like it'll start registering at 21%, which is, I guess, useful depending on what you're trying to accomplish with it. And that can be done with both. See, or you can make it not register at 100%. It'll register all the way up until 89. At 90%, it won't register anymore. Now, a lot of you guys out there, I mean, maybe some of you guys play with vibration. I haven't played with vibration since, like, I don't even remember. I don't remember the last time I played with vibration. Probably in the PS2 era. That was the last time I had vibration on my controller. Never had it on for the PS3 or any other consoles I've ever owned. But with the other controller, I'm pretty sure, I think with the normal DualSense controller, you can also adjust this. And the trigger effect intensity, I normally have that off as well because I'm not crazy about these settings that put it in resistance against the triggers. But, you know, other people may be interested in using those. But they can be adjusted. See? So from the vibration. All useful settings. And that's about it for the profiles. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little customization part.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe, like, and comment down below with your questions. I'll see you guys on my live streams Friday, Sunday, and Monday. Bye.